Hello, welcome to this Klusterbox tutorial. I'm Tom Weeks. I'm the developer of Klusterbox. In this tutorial, we're going to discuss reports. Reports, you can find the reports up here in the reports menu. So you scroll down to see all these different reports. Okay, let's just open up the carrier route and NSDay. And this is going to show you a report for that specific station, Clusterville, which we have the investigation range set to investigate Clusterville from this date to this date during this pay period. And it's going to give us a summary of every carrier, their NSDay, and their route. And for the carriers, the T6s, the floaters, carrier technicians, whatever you want to call it, it's going to show us the entire string. So let's close that out. And we also have carrier route. This is just going to show us just the name, the carrier name, and the route. And carrier NSDay. This is going to show us just the NSDay. Now, it's important that you have the investigation range set properly because this first part of the NSDay, which shows you the actual day of the week, that depends on having the date right. Because on different weeks, they're going to have different NSDays if you're using a rotating NSDay configuration. If your station uses a rotating NSDay configuration. Okay, and carrier by list. This will give you what list the carrier is on. We got no list, work assignment, overtime desired list, and auxiliary carriers. So, carrier status history. Okay, this is going to give you a list of every carrier who has ever worked at that station, past and present. Now, you have to have entered them into Klusterbox in order for them to appear on this list. Klusterbox doesn't have a telepathic link with tax, right? So you have to have entered them into Klusterbox for them to appear on this report. And presumably, if you keep a record, a database going on long enough, some of these carriers are going to move out of station, and you'll see out of station in this column here. But to generate a report, you just click Report. And that's going to show you all the carrier changes that have happened in that, that have happened for that carrier. All the times they've changed the list that they're on, all the times they've changed their NSDay, every time they've bid a new route, every time they move to a different station, and the dates of when that happened, date effective. That's very important. As you know, Klusterbox has dynamic carrier lists, so it keeps track of when the carriers change and what changes are made to that carrier, those carrier attributes, so that way your investigation can properly reflect, what carriers were on the list at that time, or if they were at the station at that time. And clock ring summary. So these are all the clock rings we have. These are all the clock rings we have for that you have entered into the station, and it shows you every date for which clock rings have been entered. So, say on January 4th, 2020. You have 61 clock rings entered in to the Klusterbox database. And this one's kind of handy. Pay period guide generator. You can just enter in any year, and it's going to give you the it's going to give you a report on the pay period. So here we go. So yes, it's you can see it gives you you enter in the year, tells you when every pay period starts, when every pay period ends. And I'm just kind of I kind of just the way I made this is I found pay period guides for every single year that I could find, and I just fudged the formula until it started to work. And so I think this formula works for every single year that I could find. But you can go back as far as you want, and I'm pretty sure this is the correct information. But if somebody's an accountant out there and you want to tell me you find flaws in this, then let me know, because I'm kind of just guessing here. But anyway, let's close this out. And yeah, for that pay period guide generator, you can go back as far as you want, and it seems to work properly until you get back to the Middle Ages, and then because there was a change from the Gregorian calendar to the Julian calendar, it starts to mess up. Sometime around the Middle Ages. So don't use it if you're trying to generate a pay period guide for the year 150 or something. Okay, another thing about these reports is you have to use a monotype. Okay, so if you go to Format and Font, we change the font to something like, I don't know, this Mongolian font, whatever. This is going to be all jumbled. It's not going to line up properly because the letters don't have the appropriate spacing, don't have equal spacing. You don't have equal spacing for each character, which is what you need for the formatting to work here. So just make sure you use a monotype. Anything with mono in it works. So I think console will work. Yeah, there we go. That works. And I always use Noto Mono. It's a good looking font, and it's a monotype. But Courier works in a pinch. That's the old typewriter font. Okay, I think that's it for the reports, and that's all you need to know. Thanks for watching this tutorial. Happy Union Stewarding.